The Democrats are trying to play every dirty trick they can with regard to Brett Kavanaugh. Yesterday saw the dirtiest trick of all. This was Dianne Feinstein, who's the senior Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee. She referred information involving Judge Brett Kavanaugh, President Trump's nominee to the Supreme Court, to federal investigators on Thursday, but the senator declined to make public what exactly the matter involved. Two officials familiar with the matter say the incident involved possible sexual misconduct between Judge Kavanaugh and a woman when they were both in high school. So now we're going to go back 35 years to try and find something that Brett Kavanaugh allegedly did wrong. Okay, Dianne Feinstein's announcement yesterday was just perverse, because here's what she announced, quote, "I have received information from an individual concerning the nomination of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. That individual strongly requested confidentiality, declined to come forward or press the matter further, and I have honored that decision. I have, however, referred the matter to federal investigative authorities." So in other words, somebody came with information. I'm not going to tell you what the information is. I'm not going to tell you where it came from. I've referred it to federal authorities. So it could be anything. It could be the worst thing you could possibly imagine, or it could be that Brett Kavanaugh was mean to someone back in high school. But I'm not going to say so. And this is where you start to look at this stuff and say, yeah, this is pretty dicey stuff. Yeah, if Dianne Feinstein really knew months ago that Brett Kavanaugh had, say, raped somebody, wouldn't she have been under an obligation to tell federal law enforcement then? Why wait until the week or two before the confirmation vote on Brett Kavanaugh, except to scuttle the boat simply out of this kind of dirty tricks playbook? This is really, really dirty stuff. Ronan Farrow has a piece over at the New Yorker in which he's essentially accusing Brett Kavanaugh of something more dire, or at least he's substantiating the allegation. Here's what Ronan Farrow is writing, as well as Jane Mayer over at the New Yorker. The woman, who was asked not to be identified, first approached Democratic lawmakers in July, shortly after Trump nominated Kavanaugh. So, in other words, Democrats knew about this for months, because it is now September. Okay, so they knew about it in July, August, and September. They did nothing about it. They didn't refer it to the FBI. They waited until now to take an allegation that Kavanaugh has apparently completely denied and throw that into the public square as sort of a red meat thing to stop Brett Kavanaugh's nomination. Democratic lawmakers didn't do anything about it. The allegation dates back to the early 1980s, when Kavanaugh was a high school student at Georgetown Prep School in Bethesda, Maryland, and the woman attended a nearby high school. In the letter, the woman alleged that during an encounter at a party, Kavanaugh held her down and that he attempted to force himself on her. She claimed in the letter that Kavanaugh and a classmate of his, both of whom had been drinking, turned up music that was playing in the room to conceal the sound of her protests, and that Kavanaugh covered her mouth with his hand. She was able to free herself. Although the alleged incident took place decades ago, and the three individuals involved were minors, the woman said the memory had been a source of ongoing distress for her and that she had sought psychological treatment as a result. In a statement, Kavanaugh said, quote, "I categorically and unequivocally deny this allegation. I did not do this back in high school or at any time." Kavanaugh's classmate said of the woman's allegation, "I have no recollection of that," and the woman declined a request for an interview. So how exactly is Dianne Feinstein bringing this up now? Again, with no evidence other than this woman's allegation, which has been denied by everyone else who was there. Now, maybe she's telling the truth. Maybe she is, but wouldn't it have behooved Dianne Feinstein to initiate that investigation, say in July, when she first received the information? I mean, this is dirty tricks at its very finest. It's dirty tricks all the way down. And this is not the last time, this is not the only time the Democrats have tried this routine. They tried the same routine with Anita Hill during Clarence Thomas's hearing, bringing up allegations that were thoroughly non-credible for a variety of reasons about Clarence Thomas supposedly sexually harassing Anita Hill, making jokes about pubic hairs on Coke cans and such. And this was supposed to sink Clarence Thomas. They're trying the same thing here. Republicans should ram through Brett Kavanaugh's nomination right now. The FBI has already declined to investigate it. They announced that yesterday. They have referred it to the White House for a background check. But that's all, because there's no further evidence that this actually happened. Kavanaugh denies the allegations, and the Democrats are going to have to do better than that. Instead, they're smearing Brett Kavanaugh with an allegation decades old, going back to when he was 17 years old when he was a minor. And we are supposed to pretend that this is a legitimate effort to keep, a serial rapist off the Supreme Court? Like, that's what Democrats are really doing here? This is the dirtiest of the dirty stuff. It's just gross. It's the same thing as when Harry Reid suggested that Mitt Romney had not paid his taxes. They just went out there and said it. And then it turned out that Mitt Romney had, in fact, paid his taxes. But Harry Reid said, you know what? We got what we needed to get done. He wasn't elected president of the United States. This is gross stuff. You wonder why people think politics is a dirty, disgusting business? This is why people think politics is a dirty and disgusting business. Because folks on every side of the aisle are pretty much willing to do anything to take down political opponents. And listen, I'm on the right. I don't think that my side is immune to this. I don't think I'm immune to this. But I think that this is a pretty egregious example. I mean, over the last couple of weeks, when we've seen Cory Booker doing this routine where he is Spartacus by revealing documents that were already revealed. Or when you saw Kamala Harris implying that Brett Kavanaugh had been corruptly discussing the Mueller investigation with members of President Trump's firm, with no evidence of that whatsoever. And now when you have Dianne Feinstein dumping into the public record unsourced allegations of an alleged sexual assault that took place 35 years ago in order to stop Brett Kavanaugh's ascension to the Supreme Court, really, really gross stuff.